What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another collaboration. That's right, guys, because of the highly anticipated Fate of the Furious being released in theaters this weekend, I had to do this video because I absolutely love this franchise, and that is, I'm going to be doing a ranking of the Fast and Furious movies leading up to Fate of the Furious, and I had to do this video with a very special guest of mine. If you don't know who this gentleman is, I recently collabed with him on Sean Chandler Talks About's channel, The Masters of Movie Trivia, which if you guys haven't seen that, by the way, definitely check it out. This is my homeboy, Matthew V. Haynes. Matthew, say what's up.
Yeah, what's guys, what's going on? O'Toole family, Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. I do a lot of stuff like Mr. Ryan here, a lot of movie reviews and stuff about movies, man. I love to talk about movies, and I'm very, very glad to be a part of this ranking list for Fast and the Furious. So thanks for having me here, Ryan.
No problem, man. Thank you for joining me on my channel. That's right, guys. We are going to be ranking the Fast and Furious movies based on our favorite movies. So don't go down in the comments. This is just our own personal opinions on what our favorite movies are in this franchise. And without further ado, let's get started with the ranking. Matthew, since you are the guest, let's get going with your number 7.
All right. Are we allowed to wait, sorry. Are we allowed to discuss spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they came out years ago. So.
Yeah, I figured. All right, cool. All right, guys, so for my number 7, I chose the Fast and Furious number 4, also known as Fast and Furious, just simply Fast and Furious. And one of my main reasons why I chose this as number 7 being my least favorite, simply because I found a lot of the pacing in the movie to be very, very draggy, and there was a lot of holes and a lot of things that didn't make any sense to me with some of the characters. Some of the development didn't make any sense. They never really explained exactly how Brian O'Connor got back in the FBI. They just mentioned, hey, we just want him here because he can race and this, and there was just a lot of errors to me, and it just felt, a lot of the things just felt really flat to me. So for those reasons, I would say that's definitely number 7 for me.
Good pick, man. All right, my number 7 is the second movie in the franchise, Too Fast, Too Furious. Love how they change up the titles.
You right?
Yeah, to be honest, guys, I barely even remember this movie at all. All I knew is that it came out in 2003, and it was directed by an unknown guy, John Singleton, I believe. And this is the first movie in the franchise to not have Vin Diesel in it. You had Paul Walker, Ludacris is introduced, Tyrese Gibson's introduced, and I just remember I kind of found it boring. Like, nothing really interesting happened. I mean, the action sequences, they were fun, but just, there really wasn't a story to it. I mean, the first two were just street racing, and I found this to be the most boring movie in the entire franchise, and it didn't really have a sense of direction. I mean, the villain, played by Cole Hauser, he's completely forgettable. I barely even remember his motivations. And so yeah, that's why I have Too Fast, Too Furious at my number 7. Alright. So
awesome.
So Matthew, what's your number 6?
So for my number 6 will definitely have to be the very first movie, and that is The Fast and the Furious. Now, like most first movies, a lot of people don't know exactly what direction some things are going to go in. So for me, how they introduced certain characters to me just didn't really make sense to me, and there's a lot of cheesy things and a lot of really corny animation. Then again, I kind of let that go because of the time it came out in. I kind of, just forgave it for that time, but there was just a lot of things in that movie, like Ryan mentioned too. There's just a lot of street racing, some of the plot and some of the story. The villains weren't really that intimidating to me, as they were in the later films. There was just a lot of local street gang stuff, and it was okay, but it just felt a little bit, some things felt really forced to me. So that's why I have that as my number 6.
Okay. Alright, my number 6 is your number 7. That is Fast and Furious, which came out in 2009. The 4th installment. This was the second one Justin Lin directed, and just like Too Fast, Too Furious, I barely even remember it. All I knew is that they were, I think, taking out some Mexican drug lords or something.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah, this movie just didn't, again, make that much sense. I mean, there's one scene in the movie that I really like. It's when Dom and Brian have that fight. That's actually some pretty good acting in that scene. I really felt that emotion in their characters. But other than that, it's just nothing but boring action scenes, some really poor pacing, and just no sense of direction to it. I think Justin Lin got off the tracks a little too much in regards to what he wanted the story to be. And so yeah, it's definitely one of the forgettable movies in the franchise. So Fast and Furious is my number 6.
Definitely.
So Matthew, we are getting into the top 5. Mr. Matthew, what is your number 5?
So actually, my number 5 was your number 6, I believe. I think you said number 6. Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's
For
my
me,
number 7.
You're number 7. Yes,
My
Too
number
Fast,
7.
Too Furious was actually number 5 for me. I actually really did enjoy that movie. There was a lot of forgettable things, and sometimes for me that works for a certain type of movie. A lot of the previous characters weren't brought back in this movie. It was just Brian O'Connor and Tyrese Gibson's character, Roman Pierce. And I like how they introduced Roman. We get to see a lot of his motivations as to why he's the kind of guy he is. And they introduce a lot with his snacking and his food eating habits, which continues throughout the movies. So for me, I think it was just a really fun movie. The villain, I think, was pretty solid. His motivations were kind of not known, but overall I just enjoyed it because I just thought it was really fun to me, you know. So that's why it's my number 5.
Okay, and my number 5 is the third installment, which is technically a prequel. That is Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Now, this was the first movie Justin Lin directed in the franchise, and the main star is not Paul Walker or Vin Diesel, it's Lucas Black. Yeah. Apparently Vin Diesel has like a little cameo in it or something, I don't remember. But yeah, this movie, it's fun. You accept it, like you said, Matthew. You accept the fun street racing elements of the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought they were pretty well directed. I think Justin Lin does a great job with the action aspect of these movies and the characters you care about. I mean, Lucas Black's character, he's fine in the movie. He's not that great, but the movie was entertaining. I was never bored by it. It's just not a great movie. It's just a prequel setting up a future movie, which we know what happens at the end, that Han dies, and that we see Jason Statham pop out of nowhere, and it's just a big surprise. And we'll definitely talk about Jason Statham later down the list. But Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is my number 5. Alright guys, we're at the top 4 now. This is where it gets intense. Alright Matthew, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 for me is Fast 6 is my number 4. I really enjoyed that movie. The reason I enjoyed the villain, I like Luke Evans as an actor. He's a great actor. I think he was a pretty decent villain. I couldn't help but see him as Gaston.
Yeah,
and
he's
I couldn't help but see him as Gaston,
man.
because I watched it. I recently watched all the films over. So, but I loved a lot. Yes, he did a great job. Yeah. But as far as the movie's concerned for Fast and Furious 6, I like how they continue a lot of things from Fast 5. I like The Rock's character. What's his name? Hobbs. Oh, yeah. He was a great character. I like to see the chemistry between Dominic Toretto and Hobbs and the whole gang and everyone rolling together. It was a great scene, you know, different location, different country. I just loved the little journey of it and the intensity. It was great.
And wasn't the girl from Deadpool, Gina Carano, in that movie?
Gina Carano.
I think she is. Yeah, Gina
I think
Carano,
so, maybe. Yes, she is. Gina Carano, the MMA fighter. Yeah, she was in that movie. That was a great. I did not see that coming. What happened at the end? Did not see that.
That's true. All right, good number 4, man. My number 4 is the very first one, The Fast and the Furious. Yes, I have a lot of nostalgia with this movie. I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and this movie is what everyone's saying. It's Point Break, but with street racing. and I love Point Break. I love me some Keanu Reeves. He's the man. And I just had a fun time watching this movie. It knew what it was. It was a fun, popcorn, street racing action movie that you can just enjoy as a guilty pleasure if you want. And yeah, this film is actually fun. The acting in this movie is pretty good. Vin Diesel and Paul Walker have such a great relationship. Dom and Brian O'Connor. And yeah, this movie's just straight up fun and introduced this franchise extremely well. And I'll definitely have to rewatch it after I watch Fate of the Furious tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, Fast. The first one is my number 4.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. All right, this is the top 3 now. Top 3. Matthew, what's your number 3?
So my number 3, and this will be the first ever Fast and Furious film I've seen in the theaters, and that will be Fast 5. Fast 5 to me,
yes.
I love that film so much. I like anything that's shot in Rio de Janeiro, anything that's, for instance, Rio 2, any movie that takes place in Rio, I tend to really like it. My family's from South America, so it kind of brings a little bit of a family, kind of thing. This, feelings for me that I enjoy. So I love the movie. I like the adventure. Different locations. They introduced The Rock's character in that movie, and he did a great job as always in that movie. And what I really loved about it even more was that this is the movie to me that really sealed the relationship of Dom and Brian O'Connor and Mia, their relationship, by having a child. To me, that's the movie that really sealed their relationship, to like stamp it into tattoos or something that said, hey, we're a family. So it was great. Before then, before all the other movies are just like, we're not sure if I should trust you as yet, but to me, Fast 5 really was like, this is the movie where we're all a family now. So I really enjoyed that.
As Vin Diesel once says, we are family. One last ride.
One last ride.
Yeah. All right, so my number 3, man, I believe this was your number 4 or 5. It's Fast and Furious 6. And
yeah, it's my number 4.
Yes, number 3 is Fast and Furious 6. I really enjoyed this movie. It was really good. And yeah, just like you said, the Fast 5 and 6 really sold the family aspect of this movie. And it introduced, like you said, Luke Evans as Owen Shaw. He was really good, but he's better as Gaston in terms of a villain. But yeah, Luke Evans was pretty good in this movie. I wish he could have been better, and I wish he had more chances to shine in this role, because I really want to see a good villain in the Fast and Furious franchise. And the movie was just fun. The Rock is the best part about all these movies.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yes. And the action sequences. Ever since Fast 5, they upped the game in terms of the action, making it more heist car chases. Yes. I know you guys keep saying, how the hell can Vin Diesel fly? Guys,
it's Vin Diesel.
I know, is it Fast 5 he flies? I think
it's something like that.
Can't you guys just accept that? You can't get that in any other movie. I mean, it's something that Michael Bay wished he did.
Hey, it's better than Xander Cage.
Yes, absolutely. Anything's better than Transformers. But yes, Fast and Furious 6, again, I really enjoyed it. I wish it could have been better, but it's still fun.
Yes, definitely.
Alright, so our top 2. Alright, you guys may disagree with us, and that's completely fine. These are just our lists, but number 2, Matthew.
So my number 2, surprisingly, was what I think was your number 5, I think. Tokyo Drift is my number 2, and here's why. And guys, like Ryan said, this is just
you just started a war. You just started a war in the comments, Matthew.
No,
unsubscribe.
no. But the reason why I liked it was because of, like I said, I watched all the movies recently, and I kind of placed it at a point. Okay, yes, this is before Gal Gadot's character Giselle dies, and I remember everything that Han did in that movie, and they were able to orchestrate it in such a way to make everything connect and make sense in Tokyo Drift as far as Han's character is concerned. But one of my main reasons why I really liked it in the first place, honestly, and this is probably the only reason, or the main reason why it's number 2, it's just the drifting, man. All right, the drifting, drifting up a car parking lot. I mean, as a race, I mean, come on. And that last action sequence at the end against the Yakuza's son, that character, that race with Sean and I forgot that other character's name, down the hill, just drifting. To me, that was pretty intense, and I really enjoyed that. So that's pretty much the only reason why it's number 2 for me.
Plus, my favorite rapper from my childhood,
Bow Wow, was in that movie.
Driving cars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I keep forgetting he's in that.
Yep.
So yeah, good number 2, man. All right, my number 2 is it's gonna shock everybody. You're expecting this to be number 1, but it's not. It's Fast 5. Look, Fast 5 is really good. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I love how they upped the ante with the action. The action in this movie is so fun and badass. I mean, that fight between The Rock and Vin Diesel, that is some powerful shit. It's so badass.
Yeah.
I mean, and that these two titans who could beat the shit out of people, that they're just fighting. I just wanted to see that.
Yes, that was...
And I mean, take Fast 6, The Rock throwing that ball guy through the ceiling and interrogating him, going WWE, The Rock bottom. But yeah, this movie was just complete fun. I really liked the action sequences in the film, and it's everything about it is just, you remember it. And I felt the story was better in this movie in terms of family. And as you said, the relationship with Brian and Dom is really well explained in this film. Way better than the other ones. And yeah, Fast 5 is...
Absolutely.
Now, you guys know what our number 1 is. It's pretty obvious if you haven't watched already. Want to just both say it?
Man, yep.
Yep, here we go. Furious 7.
Furious 7. We messed it up saying it together, but it works. Furious 7.
Okay, it works.
Furious 7, yeah.
You could take the floor first, Matt.
I totally enjoyed the living mess out of this movie. This movie was fun. It was serious. It was everything. It was emotional. You know, not just the parts with Paul Walker, because to me, watching this movie, when it was announced, rest in peace, Paul Walker, when he passed away a couple years ago, when it was announced, I was pretty upset. I mean, it's upsetting to hear anybody pass, but it didn't impact me as much as it did back now as it did back then. When I saw it now, rewatching all the films in chronological order, I kind of got to really love that character and grow onto him and realize how much of an importance that character is to this franchise. So watching Furious 7, to me, that really made me emotional watching it over again. But it was fun. The action sequences were off the top, like you said, Ryan. Since the 5th movie, they really stepped their game up as far as action sequences. I mean, going back to the 5th movie, who can forget that the seller with the money rolling on the street with the two cars? I mean, it was amazing.
Vin Diesel flying like Superman.
Yes.
It's like the Iron Giant.
Yeah, I mean, this, and back to Furious 7, everything was just so fun about this movie. Like Ramon, let me say, I just said his name, Roman Pierce, his character. Roman Pierce was so much fun. They introduced another character, Kurt Russell, of course. You gotta love Kurt Russell, Jason Statham. Yes. And what I loved about it too is just seeing Jason Statham's character as being the older brother of Owen Shaw. When he's walking out the hospital, how many bodies this guy dropped. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, it just let you know how intense of a villain this franchise had at this point. How much of a serious character. I loved it.
I think he's underrated. I think he's the best villain we've had in this
franchise. I think he is the best villain that this franchise has seen so far. The best villain. So far, absolutely.
Alright, and for me personally, Furious 7, ever since I saw it in the theater, I really, really liked this movie. How well made it was. I mean, this movie went through production hell, like you just said, with Paul Walker's passing. He died halfway of filming this movie, and it was going to be really hard. Like, how are we going to have Paul Walker? They just have his brother in the final act. And yeah, it's obvious, you can tell when CGI Paul Walker's there. The ending, the CG looked really good.
Yes, it did.
And just... This movie was hard to make, but I was really impressed with how they pulled this movie off. The action sequences, yeah, they're cheesy, they're over the top, but they're really well filmed. I mean, the car chase with the parachute sequence, oh my god, that was so much. I don't like poop!
And them going through, and then Vin Diesel going through the different towers in Abu Dhabi. I mean,
my god, skyscraper
that
scene.
Was so impossible, but
talk about impossible.
But that's one of the things I love about the movies. Like, when people take these movies too seriously or take it for more than what it really is, that's when you get when you get a problem. But you just have to watch the movie for what it is. Just watch it as a fun, enjoyable movie, and you'll have a great time. I enjoyed it.
I mean, very rarely when do you get Vin Diesel and Jason Statham fighting with automobiles?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't get that in any other movie.
Nope.
But,
Literally
yeah,
crashing into each other in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. but yeah, the biggest gripe I had with this movie was The Rock's screen time.
Yeah.
Barely in it.
Yeah.
That was the biggest problem. The biggest mistake.
And the random introduction of a daughter, which was like, whoa.
Yeah, that part makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, how would you have The Rock? The fight scene between him and Jason Statham was really well done.
Yo.
And he just jumps out of that building like Batman saving Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, how does The Rock get out of that cast?
He just broke it with his arm.
And then he comes out with a machine gun.
Yep.
Like, The Rock's character made no sense. I wish he had more screen
Yeah.
time. But overall, this movie was really well made, and that ending. I'll be honest, I had a tear in my eye.
I had a tear in my eye too, man. I'm not even ashamed to say it.
And I'm not being offensive to the Oscars. How could you not nominate "See You Again" for Best Original Song? That's complete BS.
That always gets me every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it.
Screw the Academy. But yeah, Furious 7 is my favorite by far.
Awesome.
And there you have it, guys. That is me and Matthew's ranking of the 7 Fast and Furious movies based on our opinions. And yeah, we definitely had some different opinions in there, but overall, we had the same number 1. And yeah, this was definitely a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely, man. Thanks once again. Thank you so much for having me on your channel, Ryan. It was great to do this list and to watch these movies over again and to compile this list. It was really, really fun. So thank you.
No problem, man. Absolutely, you're welcome to come back on here. Please, guys, go subscribe to Matthew V. Haynes. He makes a lot of awesome trailer reactions, movie reviews, spoiler reviews. Yeah, definitely go check him out. And check us out on the Masters of Movie Trivia as well over on Sean Chandler Talks About, where you can see how we did. We won't tell you how we did, obviously, if you haven't seen it. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Do you agree with our list or do you absolutely hate it? Let us know down below in the comments. Thank you guys as always for watching this collaboration, and if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Any last words, Matt?
Yes, man. Like I said, once again, thanks again for having me on here, guys. Let us know in the comment section down below what you think is the best. Obviously, my list is probably a lot better than Ryan's list, but don't tell him I said that, even though you can hear this. It's cool. My social media links is just Matthew V. Haynes. You can find me on YouTube, Matthew V. Haynes. And that's it, man. Thank you.
All right, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!